Hi, Libra time. Time to do a tarot card reading for the sign of Libra. We're using Tarot in Wonderland in this set of readings. I'm always doing readings, so do subscribe to my channel and take a look at what's on there. There's about well over 650 readings on there now. Can't be more specific than that. But do go and have a look, because if you're drawn to one, it's for you, even if it's not for your star sign. But this one is aimed at Libra. Anyway, I'm doing this right on the last day of February 2020. So we're nearly in March now, but it's all about looking forward. So let's look forward in the name of Libra. And let's turn over the first card on top of the deck here. And it's the Four of Wands. There we are now. Things are looking very powerfully good there, actually, aren't they? Not only has she got a house with a nice solid roof on it to fall back on, but she's also out in the garden on a beautiful day with four actual wands sticking up out of the ground there and holding up a nice cloth over her head. So she really is sitting pretty in so many ways. She's got her cat friends with her there, and everything's looking really good. Even the clouds in the background are sort of very small clouds. It's a lovely blue sky and everything's looking great. But you just know when you get into this situation and everything's feeling good, it's not like anything bad's going to happen, and that's really not indicated here at all, Libra. But this is the first card in the spread. It's the beginning of a journey, and it's sort of the completion of part of the journey, if you like, but it's moving on to the next leg, because Alice is sitting comfortably here, very, very comfortably indeed. But the cats in particular, you know, cats kind of know something that they never really communicate to us, I'm sure of it. And the cats know she's got to move on. They know things have got to actually change. And really they have, because that wonderful solid house behind her is actually a house of cards. It's got a lovely solid roof on it, but what are the walls made of? Rather wonky looking cards. So something has got to change when this card comes in. As comfortable as everything is, and whatever you do, Libra, don't be in a big hurry to move on from the situation that you're in now, if it's a happy one, okay? If it's not so happy, then yeah, get your boots on and get moving, because you really can when the Four of Wands is in there. But at the same time, if you're happy, drink your tea with your cats and enjoy it for what it is. But remember that life is change. Okay, so speaking of life, I'm going to go into Rachel Sharman's chakra cards here. Really, really lovely deck, this. I've been using it all through this set of readings to get some extra significance. So I'm going to say, tell us more about the Four of Wands. Oops. Tell us more about the Four of Wands in this reading for the sign of Libra. Tell us more, please, about the Four of Wands. Some did fly off there, but I managed to get them back. So turning over the top one, it's number 11. It's inspiration. And we're very much in the sacral chakra here. That's what that ambery orange is showing us there. So it's, you know, it's sensual, really. That's what the sacral chakra is all about. And that's not just in a sexual way. That's all to do with, you know, all of the senses that we use. The 5 senses in the worldly way, and of course the spiritual senses as well. But this is saying, kind of take a look at the world that's actually around us now for that inspiration. Now, Alice is in a pretty good place here, isn't she? I mean, even the wands there are covered in flowers. It's a really beautiful position to be in. So, Libra, I hope you're going to find it not too hard to get hold of some serious inspiration from the world around you and actually get an idea of where you want to go, of where you want to progress. The tarot and all the wisdom that we're working with here is very much a spiritual thing, and that's what it's all about, really. But this world that we live in actually is a very spiritual place, and that's why we're actually given it to live in. So inspiration there. Look around you for inspiration. If there aren't inspiring people, but well, there are always inspiring people about, but people don't always do the trick. Look at Mother Earth, think about the goddess energy, think about whatever you want, really, as long as it's sort of something in this world, because we live in this world and the journey we have to make is actually through this world. Some say it's a vale of tears and it's a horrible place, and I've had my share of that, friends, and I'm not just kind of going, oh, everything's lovely, you know, but actually, you know, there is always something beautiful behind whatever looks horrible to us. big example of that, I think, is, just about wherever we live nowadays, we're kind of walking on concrete and it doesn't feel natural. But underneath the concrete is actually the earth, and there is just no getting away from this planet because it's where we live. So as you move forward from the Four of Wands at the beginning of this journey, Libra, and you really will move forward from it, take note of what's going on around you in terms of inspiration. What's good about that? What can be different? Are you listening to the silence behind the noise? Are you seeing the beauty behind the ugliness? There's always something good either behind or somewhere hidden in the picture, So reach out with your mind for those things, okay? You'll see more about the way to go with your third eye than you will with the round things at the top of your face. But that is that is largely because the third eye actually looks inwards, and so you're finding the answers within yourself and you're finding the answers within the real world with that Four of Wands card there. Looks good to me. But it's time to move on and see where we're going next in the journey. So I'm back with Tarot in Wonderland, having a good old shuffle for the sign of Libra. Let's turn one over. And we really are moving on. It's number 13 and it's the Death card. Now, Alice here has blown the candle out. And look at the turquoise light that is actually there. Blowing the candle out has not left her in the dark. This is the thing. It's always better to light a candle than it is to sit in darkness. But as we started with the Four of Wands there, she isn't sitting in darkness there at all. But there's something not quite right. Something doesn't quite add up when we get the Four of Wands. And so here we've got the Death card, number 13. So it really is about blowing out the candle on the past. It's closing the door on the past so that you can open the door on the future. That's a really important thing to do. Basically, you've got to tie up your loose ends before you move on. Now, if this means cord cutting for you, Libra, do not fear cutting the cord, because if you cut a cord that you still need to have there, it will grow back, and it will grow back in plenty of time. So just go ahead, cut whatever cords you need to cut, and focus on the truth, because there is a great turquoise light that shows itself as soon as she's blown the candle out there. And that's always an invitation to speak your truth as well. But I'm seeing it as a more general truth thing. The truth is actually thundering through in this image. It's there in the candle smoke, and it's there in the distance behind Alice. So blow the candle out, Libra. Get rid of what no longer serves you, and you will have much more success going forward for sure. Where are my chakra cards? Here they are. And we'll look for a chakra card to tell us some more about number 13, the Death card in this reading for the sign of Libra. What are our chakras to tell us about? See, the chakra cards, they link us to light centers, energy centers within the body. Do look them up, by the way, if you've never really looked into chakras. It's fascinating, and it has so much to do with what links us to the divine. In this deck, there are 9 chakras represented. Now, 7 of those are actually within our own bodies, going from the base chakra at the base of the spine right the way up to the crown chakra at the top. But also, above the crown chakra, there's the Stargate chakra in this deck, which is where we really start connecting to the divine wisdom. And also, beneath our feet, there's the Earth Star chakra, also represented in this deck. And that, like the Stargate chakra, is kind of the other end of the scale. It's the world we live in, because all this divine knowledge needs to be drawn down into our own world. And I can't remember the names of these things. The Earth Star chakra links us closely to the goddess energy, and that's why it's so worth thinking about. Anyway, let's turn another one over. The top card here, and it is 29, Spiritual Awakening, and we really are up there with the Stargate chakra there. And now we can see that all the rays of light are actually coming more or less from this person's forehead chakra. That's it's a little bit further down nearer to the brow, really, but that's the inspiration. The main thing is it's actually coming from this character in all its glory, and it really is a glorious thing. So honour the inspiration that comes to you, Libra. It is a big thing, it is an important thing, and it's linking this character to everything that is divine. And that's a wonderful thing, because it's not airy-fairy out there at all to think about linking to the higher realms and all those higher energies of this amazing universe. They're actually around us all the time, playing into our lives all the time. So we might as well link to them. We might as well get in touch with them, because that is all about getting in tune with ourselves. And this is what's happening with Alice. She may not have actually made that that actual soulful connection to the Stargate yet, but she has blown the candle out, because she knows that greater things are coming, and using the power of the mind, the human mind, which is a very spiritual thing. I keep saying it because it needs to be said. All that power is really important, and that is what's going to make the spiritual journey ahead. It's going to make it tick. It's going to make it function. It's going to make it meaningful in our lives, okay? So a lot to do with getting rid of what no longer serves you, okay? And that's not always easy. Sometimes that's about other people, and it can be very hard to step away from other people. It was something I had to do last year, actually. I had a very good friend for a very long time, but for the last few years, he just got more and more negative. And it was a great shame, but I just couldn't handle it anymore, you know, in the end. And so I had to cut the cord. And I've no doubt that cord would grow back if I needed it to. It hasn't yet. Who knows what will happen in the future. But I'm so glad I cut that cord. It set me free to keep on going. We can cut cords in all sorts of ways, you know. For example, I haven't cut the cord with YouTube, obviously, because I'm sitting here doing readings. But I have cut the cord with my ambitions to make loads of money out of YouTube, because after years and years, it's quite clearly not going to happen. And as soon as I took that attitude, I started finding that people were booking readings kind of through Facebook and sometimes through my email, which, by the way, is 35and83@gmail.com. That is 35and83@gmail.com. People were booking readings and wanting readings, so I was actually, I actually found, and I'm still finding, that I'm able to have that kind of ministry in the world, because this is like birthing my ideas. This is my spiritual soul having an effect in the world, and I'm able to make a small amount of money. I mean, I'm certainly not rich, but I don't see why exactly the universe has to make me rich. If it's going to, I'm sure it will. I'm sure I'll stop hiccuping if it's going to, but this is crazy, you know. I haven't hiccuped all day, and as soon as I've got the camera on, I'm fighting it off. Okay, right. Moving along. My body is really against me at this moment. Right. Moving along, let's turn over another card now, because this is going to be a 5-card spread. The next card is actually going to be at the heart of the matter, and it's really going to be showing us the direction that we need to go in. So I'm back with Tarot in Wonderland, having a good old shuffle, and let's see what we've got. Turning over the top card, it is the 9 of Swords. Excuse me a minute. Oh, excuse me there, I just had to go and have a drink of water and let my body do its thing. But that's what bodies are all about, eh? Anyway, next card out is the 9 of Swords. Now, this is the heart of the matter here. So this, although it's part of the progress and it's very much part of the way forward, because it's like the transition point from the beginning of the reading where we are now to the outcome of the reading, which is where we're headed. But it does actually play into both sides of it a lot. Really is the heart of the matter. It's the 9 of Swords. Now we can see from the checkered bedspread that there's a game in play. Wherever there's a chessboard in Tarot in Wonderland, whether it's kind of etched out on the grass or it's on a sheet like this, there is actually a game going on, and the outcome isn't entirely certain. But isn't life like that, friends? We never really know what the outcome is going to be. We quite often don't even know how we're going to get there, but that's the journey of life. And that, I really hope, is something that the tarot can shed light on. It's been shedding light on my life in that way since the 1980s, so I'm kind of used to it, and I know it works, I really do. And so there's the bedspread showing that the game is still going on, And the hare here is really, really unhappy because he's woken up. Looks as if he's been having a nightmare, and looks as if he'd rather be, almost anyway, as if he'd almost rather be back having the nightmare than be awake, because those swords hanging over his head are all about decision making. It's air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, so it's actually very close to the Libran heart. But do think about Gemini and Aquarius as well. Those people around you, or maybe those influences in your birth chart, could really help you a lot at this stage. And this looks like the nitty gritty. This is a lot kind of stronger than the Death card, if you ask me, in terms of what it actually shows going on in life. The Death card is all about transition, and it's just not easy to make transitions. We have to sometimes change a great many things to actually be able to go forward and to actually be able to get anywhere. And there are 9 swords there, symbolising many things that need to be fixed. Looks like it would be impossible to fix them all, you know, and I guess many of us actually have a lot of things that we need to change in our lives to really get to where we want to be. And the only way to do it is take down one sword at a time, sort it out, then the next night you've only got 8 swords to deal with, which is still plenty. But sooner or later, night after night, you know, if you spend your days sorting out at least one sword, then it's only a matter of 9 days, less than 2 weeks, before you've got everything sorted. That's an analogy of it. That's just one way that I'm looking at it, really. But there's a spiritual thing going on as well. This clock, I don't know if you can see it too well in the picture there, but it's probably reversed itself as well because it's in the camera. But when you look at this clock head on, it looks as if it's 20 past 2 in the middle of the night. Now, spirit communication traditionally happens between midnight and 4 a.m. In the old tradition, they used to call that the dead hours because it's the time when dead people communicate. Of course, they're not dead. I'm a spiritualist. I'm quite convinced that they're not dead. But there is some spirit communication going on there. And if you're having kind of that waking up in the middle of the night thing regularly, and it's between midnight and 4 at the same time, night after night, then someone up there is trying to not necessarily get in touch, and it doesn't mean kind of you're going to start seeing ghosts or anything horrible that you can't really deal with, but it does mean there's some gentle communication of some sort going on. Someone up there is trying to help you, you know, because they never actually die. That is the absolute fact of it. So back to the chakra cards, and let's see what we can find out about the 9 of Swords as I have a shuffle and say, tell us more about the 9 of Swords in this reading, please, for the sign of Libra. Tell us more about the 9 of Swords for Libra. The 9 of Swords in this reading for the sign of Libra. To turn over the top one, and we've got I am presence. And we're up in the Soul Star chakra again. This is very close to the crown chakra, by the way, you know, and that's what we need to open and close when we open it to begin starting spiritual work, and we close it to kind of just to shut down at the end of the spiritual work. It doesn't disconnect us from the spiritual at all. It's a bit like putting a cloth over a crystal ball, which a lot of people will do. It's an affirmation of wanting to conserve the energy for the next time you really need it, and it does help things build up in a very powerful way. And this card is called the I Am Presence. So it really has a lot to do with communicating from the higher chakras with the divine realms, and that's what's going on in the 9 of Swords so much, because all these worries that the hare is having in that card, it's as if kind of the higher realms are drawing his attention to those worries. And that's not to make him feel worse, that's because he can actually sort things out. The I am presence is a very powerful thing. We're talking essentially about God, I suppose, but people have so many different ideas about God. Maybe you don't believe in God at all. I'm not saying you should or that you have to. But the I am is it's the governing divine influence over all of us. It might just be your job, it might just be your relationship, but it's something very, very important, and it's the guiding light in your life. And it exists, you know, almost separately from you, although it's a part of you and it's part of your ambitions and your feelings about love and life and everything. It's somehow out there. It needs to be, because we aren't always 100% in tune with our ambitions and with our dreams, but we always 100% have those things somewhere in our makeup. So be aware of that I am presence. Look how gentle this rather magical figure is looking down, the gentle way she's looking down at the world, and all the green energy, everything to do with, the everyday kind of nature of Earth. Because this is really what happens, the world that we live in is a divinely given thing, and the divine is actually very close to it. The only thing in between is us, ourselves, and that, my friends, is what makes us divine beings more than anything else. Okay, so that's the heart of the matter. Deal with the problems one at a time, and do know, my friends, that the higher realms are wanting to help in whatever way they possibly can. If you ask them to help, that really helps. Try not to say help too many times, but it isn't possible because it's all about help. There really is help, most particularly when we feel there isn't any. There's help out there. Okay, so have faith in that. Right, so I'm shuffling again, and I'm asking for card number 4, please, in this reading for the sign of Libra. Card number 4, please. There are 5 cards, so we're actually getting quite near to the answers and quite near to the outcome here. As I turn over the top card, and what have we got? It's the 2 of Pentacles. Now, we're quite early in the journey here, so we're obviously setting off on a new journey, and it is obviously starting to work. Now, there's a juggling act going on here as the Hatter tries to control these 2 pentacles. Pentacles, it's earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, either around you as people or somewhere in your birth chart. That's the energy of this, and it is important to really get grounded, because we can see there are rough seas in the background, and I guess there's something of a storm blowing around the Hatter here. But it doesn't look as if he's going to drop the pentacles at all, does it? Which is showing up as, they look like pocket watches with time on them, but they really are pentacles. And he looks like he's really got to get hold of these things in time, in enough time to save the day in whatever way he's trying to save it. But this is life. As we set off on a new journey, friends, things do change, and we don't know exactly in what direction they're going, and things will actually sort themselves out in a timely fashion, one way or another, so it's nothing to worry about. None of this is going to involve anything getting dropped or broken, and it shows a great deal of progress, actually, because although it's early in the new path, it is the new path, and it's firmly underway. But there are slanted clouds there. They're nice purple healing-y kind of clouds, but they are slanted. So look out maybe for tricksters, look out for people who would maybe try and knock you off your path. Maybe voices from the past saying, you'll never do that, you'll never do that. Don't worry about it. Loads of people told me it was absolutely pointless doing YouTube, but it isn't. It's been very, very rewarding, as I was saying earlier, and I'm glad I'm still doing it, and I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I possibly can. Okay, chakra. Oh, I've got them here. Chakra cards now. Let's say, tell us more about the 2 of Pentacles, please, in this reading for the sign of Libra. Tell us more, please, about the 2 of Pentacles. Let's find out what's indicated here. What's going on with the balancing act? Let us see. Let's turn over the top card. And we've got number 27 here, psychic development. Great. So this journey really is into a new psychic understanding. And it's actually having that psychic understanding of the world that's going to make your journey that much more magical, Libra. And that's great. I see great balance in this card, actually. And there's a lot of balance in the 2 of Pentacles as well. It's a balancing act, but he's getting away with it. He's keeping it in balance, which is great. And this crystal ball is held in a real nice state of equilibrium and of balance here, Libra. So that has got to sit well with you guys. Psychic development, it's purple. This really is the crown chakra, right up at the top here. So we want to open the crown chakra, have the intention of having it open, close it when we don't need it, but open it from time to time. And there's some meditation going on here. We can see the world in the crystal ball. It's kind of a reflection of the outside world. It's all kind of shown inside the crystal ball there. So as you do your meditation, Libra, you are going to be aware of everything that you need to be aware of. There's lots and lots of gold out there in the sky, and it actually looks more golden when you look at it through the glass ball, the crystal ball there. You actually get much more of an impression of what's actually going to be happening. Now, the character in it seems rather far away, seems rather distant, but that is a big part of you, Libra. It's a big part of everybody, you know. We are who we are in this life, but part of the soul is always wandering forward, trying to find out new things and assimilate new wisdom. That's a big word, isn't it? Just take it in and make use of new wisdom. A very fiery looking thing here we've got as well, actually. So I'm gonna say fire sign energy, Leo, Sagittarius and Aries. Any of those influences in your birth chart are going to be quite a thing there. Or maybe people. Only you really know the people around you and what it all means. But there we are. There's good progress going on there. And we're moving steadily towards an outcome card now. So I'm back with Tarot in Wonderland. And I'm saying, tell us more, please, about the Two of Pentacles in this reading for the sign of Libra. Let's have an outcome card, please, in this reading for the sign of Libra. Here we go. So we'll turn one over, and we've got the Eight of Swords. No, we haven't. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Took me a minute there. So it's Pentacles energy, okay? Now, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo around you are worth thinking about. But the main thing, since it's come up twice now in this reading, the sign of Pentacles is always about grounding. And I could do with grounding because I've got these blinking hiccups again. Excuse me. Right, let's hope it works this time. It's been working pretty good, really. Eight of Pentacles. This is all about the rewards of hard work. And we can see the king here is working pretty hard with a tool that doesn't actually suit him. It's much too big. It's kind of outsized. So quite possibly, Libra, you're going to find it quite difficult to get on with the... Well, you actually, no, that's wrong. You're not going to find it difficult to get on with the work at all. It's looking like actually a lot of the work has been done, and it's obviously going very, very well because there are already many pentacles going up the wall. So there's a good ascension process going on there, but it is the reward of hard work, and it does need a bit of change. He could do with a better tool for the job, or it's going to take him quite a while to master using a great big pencil like that. But he is mastering it, you know. So some steady progress is going to be needed, but I can see that it's actually happening here. This is about taking some time as well, you know. The kind of rewards of hard labour that are going on here. It's not just rewards of hard labour, it's rewards of long labour. Actually taking the time to look deeply into things, taking the time to get things right and to get things in order. It's a wonderful card to get for the outcome, though. That really shows a lot of progress. We've gone from the Four of Wands, and then we've had number 13, the Death card. We've blown the candle out. We've dealt with the Nine of Swords, one at a time. We've got there. We've made a start. We've got to the Two of Pentacles, and then we've gone straight to the Eight of Pentacles. And as well as everything else the Pentacles symbolise, you know, there's some kind of good thing going on there with money, I'm sure of it. So it's looking like things are going to be a lot better. And looking at the world around us, for a great many people at the moment, Libra, things couldn't get much worse in terms of money. So that is looking really positive, really positive. But keep up the good work. That's what that card says more than anything. And we'll get another chakra card out, please. And I'll say, tell us some more about the Eight of Pentacles. Where are we going with the Eight of Pentacles in this reading for the sign of Libra? Where are we going with that? And here we are. Number 33, Angels and Masters. And we can see all the chakras actually indicated in this card here. Those are the 7 bodily chakras. Of course, we'd have the Earth star down here, and we would have the Stargate up here, which we can see with this sort of Merkaba-like thing. That is where the human soul connects to the divine. And we know very well where it connects to the earth. It's pretty much where your feet are now. If you're upstairs, it's downstairs, but you are very close to it, so that's the good news. Now, this really shows the whole point of working steadily and working hard to get things right, because we've got the fruits of a lot of labour there, and a lot of steady progress being made, but it's slightly unsteady, just the way these things zigzag up the wall. Now that is a very normal aspect of human life. Everything zigzags a bit as we go forward. But here we've got the chakras all in alignment, and that's what we want to visualize, that's what we want to believe in, and that is what we want to be working towards as we go forward. Now that card is very powerfully up with the higher realms there, and so I really do see a great ascension process going on for you guys, Libra, as we go through this spread and everything that it means to you and indicates to you. And the most important thing about any of these readings, friends, is really your interpretation of them. I can sit here talking about it forever. I could, because I enjoy it. I've been doing it for decades. But not this reading, but, you know, generally the tarot. I've been there for decades. It's a wonderful thing. But, you know, what you actually make of it is the most important thing. You actually know what those 9 swords represent, for example, when we were at the heart of the matter. Somehow this is going to gel with you, and it's all going to gel together, because 8 of Pentacles with Angels and Masters, which, by the way, is number 33 in that deck, so it's a very magical number. They are all about being in a fantastic place to be. Now then, I'm going to take out Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light deck and see if we can find out just one more card. Well, I'm sure we can find out just one more card to see if we can get a little bit more significance about the journey that's going on here. I'm just going to pull one Keepers of the Light Oracle card to see where the light activation is going and what's really happening, just to consolidate things a little bit. So I'm going to say, tell us more, please, about this reading for the sign of Libra. Tell us more, please, about this reading for the sign of Libra. Let's do it 3 times. Tell us more, please, about this reading for the sign of Libra. Turn over the top one here. And here we go. It's the Shekinah. It's the sacred self. Take a look, and then I'll turn her around and read her out, because I can't see her in the camera there. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, and dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Okay, and that plays straight into this card, actually, doesn't it? Because all the progress that we've made through the reading has led us to a very strong position where we've got lots going for us and lots of resources building up, but they are scattered, and we're trying to bring them into a straight line. But that's because of the soul connection. We need them in a straight line. The real fact is that the rhythm of life in this world does take us from side to side all the time, actually, and it's no bad thing. That is the sacred rhythm of life. And as we go to one side, we take in one lot of information. As we dance to the other side, we take in that side of the information, and we come up with a picture. Life doesn't remain a one-sided thing when we actually dance along with that sacred rhythm. And so unleash your spirit, express your gifts. You know, those 2 things are important as well. And particularly with the death card here, we are unleashing, you are unleashing your spirit, Libra. I'm a Sagittarius, but I try to unleash my spirit as often as I can. I really do. Okay, lots of healing inherent in this, and so this draws it all together. Whatever you're going through at the moment is just one side of the dance, and as soon as you can actually really take heart and get at one with the idea that that 8 of Pentacles situation is coming, that the universe has actually got your back, that the angels have got your back, everything to do with the good things is actually there with you for you to draw on, then you will be able to sort out all the 9 of Swords stuff, and you will actually get, not to the end of the journey, because it never is, but you'll get a good deal of progress along the way to what makes you happy going forward, Libra. Okay, so I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you very much for watching. A thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed this one. Do leave me a comment. You know, it's great to zero into who I'm talking to here. And please subscribe and tap that bell. Very many thanks to everyone who's subscribed. I know a lot of you have. I really appreciate it. And if you could give me a sub now, that would be absolutely wonderful. So hit the subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss anything, because I'm bringing new videos out all the time, and we look at astrology as well as just kind of reading cards. There's always something going on this channel, so do subscribe, do tap the bell, share me around social media if you can, And, you know, other than that, have a fantastic time ahead. It won't be long until I'm back with another reading, Libra. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.